Have you ever felt like hormone contraceptive pills weren't really fixing the real problem? I had been relying on HCs for about 2 to 3 years. Every time I would finish them, I would think I should be healed, so I would stop taking them. The next 2 to 3 cycles would go smoothly, but then my periods would become irregular again. I would experience spotting, and my acne would worsen. I would be back at square one. Every time I visited the doctor, she would prescribe me pills and tell me after I used them I would be cured. But after finishing them and stopping, everything would go back to normal. And I was frustrated. Thinking, so what's the problem? I used the pills, just like they said, and my periods weren't fixed. So what am I doing wrong? What's happening? And based on the experience that only if I use the pills, my cycles would be regular and on time, and my periods would be on time, based on these facts, I would have to use these pills till I hit menopause. And I wasn't going to do that. So I decided to completely stop using the pills and start going after alternative methods. I started journaling my periods, researching about women's health and menstrual cycles, and what I learned shocked me because this knowledge was knowledge that women should be taught since their first period. So I decided I would share my journey with other women so we could all learn together and no one stays in the dark about this knowledge that we should have been taught. So if you have had the same experiences and felt the same, join me and we'll build this journey together. Hi, welcome to Her Journal. I am Rebecca, and this was how I got into women's health and cycle syncing. So, the first things we need to know about women's health is what the menstrual cycle is and what happens in our body throughout the menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle starts on the first day of your period and ends the day before your next period starts. Your body is like the nature's rhythm. Just like the year has 4 seasons, our cycle has 4 phases. The menstrual phase, follicular phase, ovulatory phase, and the luteal phase. Starting with the menstrual phase, the one most of us have heard the most about. The menstrual phase, in this phase, the uterus lining that had thickened during the previous phase sheds and we bleed. This is like the winter of our phase when everything is a bit calmer, we need more rest, our energy is at its lowest, we have less focus, and our body is at its weakest point compared to the rest of the cycle. This is when we should rest and take care of our body. Then we enter the follicular phase. This is when your ovaries produce estrogen, and this estrogen thickens and grows your uterus lining, causes your uterus lining to thicken and grow. This phase starts after menstruation, after you finish menstruation, and ends when you ovulate. Ovulation is usually mid-cycle. This phase is like spring. This phase is like spring when your energy levels are rising, your focus is also rising, you're getting more productive. things are starting to get better, flowers are blooming, and your acne calms down in this phase. Then we enter the ovulatory phase. This phase starts when you ovulate and your ovaries release an egg. The thing about this phase is that if you never ovulate, if ovulation never occurs, then you're never going to get your period and the next cycle isn't going to start. After the egg is released, your ovaries produce progesterone. Progesterone causes the uterine lining to mature, so a fertilized egg can be implanted in it. This phase is like summer. The sun is out and shining, everything is fine, you are the most focused and productive, you are the strongest in this phase, energy levels are high. Also, all of this is because both of your hormone levels are high. Then when you're having all your fun, when your energy was high and you were achieving all your goals, you were the most productive. After all of these, you enter the luteal phase. The luteal phase is when everything starts to get a bit calmer, things start to slow down, because your body is preparing itself for a pregnancy that might occur. It's probably not going to occur, but we continue. In this phase, you might have fatigue, irritability, you may have mood swings, you may have bloating, and as we near the end of the cycle, these PMS symptoms increase because your hormone levels, both your hormones, progesterone and estrogen levels, are dipping and getting lower. So in this phase, the luteal phase and the menstrual phase, you have to rest a lot more, take care of yourself a lot more, slow down, take it easy a bit. Understanding each of these phases, understanding what happens in each phase will help you align your lifestyle, work, fitness, and self-care with your inner rhythm and biology so you don't end up fighting against it. These were the basics of women's health and the cycle. If you want to learn more and align yourself and your life with your inner biology, subscribe and join me, and let's make our cycle work for us.